Can you make it without moving to a big city like Nashville or LA, New York, London?
It's okay.
It's okay. Thank you. Have a good day. I went to Nashville last week, and unfortunately I didn't film all that much. I was so busy, and although I don't have much footage, I do have this. I did not buy it in Nashville. I looked at one that was quite enticing, but it was $1,200, and I found this Recording King, which the reviews were okay. It was quite a bit cheaper on Amazon, so if there are a few left and you're interested, you might want to go check it out. Just like my Recording King lap steel that I put the benders on, affordable. But right now, this one is in GBD. Dallas is big enough to have opportunities, but it's certainly not like even Austin, which is 3 hours away, or certainly not Nashville, LA, or New York. Far more opportunities in those places. And I'm making an assumption here, but if you're in music, I imagine you have considered moving to one of those places if you have not done so already. I don't see myself moving to Nashville, but this is one of the first times where I thought, yeah. I stayed in Nolensville, which is down south, with my friend Ross King. He's been on the channel before. I went there to work with Ross about songs for, production music label, and met with a bunch of his friends and songwriters. I had more coffee in 3 days than I've had in the past 3 years. Some of the people I didn't know all that well, so I wasn't going to put my camera in front of their face. But I learned a lot about what it means to be a working musician in Nashville. I also went bowling with a few friends, and I did put the camera in their face, and I asked them, why did they move to Nashville, and was it worth it? Scott, why did you move to Nashville?
For the music.
Has it worked out for you?
Yeah, it's great. Definitely more opportunity than the other cities that I lived in, and the competition has forced me to up my game. So I like to think I'm a better musician for it.
Oh man, I waited too long. Hey, do you know this guy? The heart and soul of Piano Book. Obolig? How do we say it?
Yeah.
Or Owen Bolig. Why'd you move here?
I was originally doing music production a city where I couldn't get paid any money. And I came out here thinking I would be a music producer out here. And then realized how much better everyone here was compared to me, so I decided to go even further in the background and do music production. Music production software, see.
But glad you did it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I've been here for 6 years. I love Nashville.
Yeah. Austin,
What's up?
why'd you move here?
My parents, I was very young. I didn't have a choice.
Oh, so you're not a transplant.
I came here when I was 6. Yeah, I'm 35 now.
Oh, okay. This is no good for my video. Are you glad you stayed?
Yeah.
Favorite thing about Nashville?
Music. It's top notch.
Yours is top notch.
Yours is top notch.
I'm in my backyard. This is the first time I have filmed outside in 3 or 4 months. It's only 85. My friend Bob had some great things to say, but they were blasting REM, and I don't want a copyright strike. He talked about all the talent in the city and how when you're the best person in the room in your town, your small town, well, it's nice to... When you're the best person in the room in your town, well, it's nice to be good, but you don't grow. And when he came to Nashville, he was surrounded by amazing people in every room that he was in. I'm just going to talk louder whenever the bird starts to chirp. Just like in athletics or in school, when you're surrounded by people that are better than you, hopefully it makes you better or it makes you quit. I hope it makes you better. The Dobro came in this square neck resonator, excuse me. I know someone will correct me in the comments, so I'll correct myself before. It came in this box here, but it was inside this box. You may not be able to tell by watching my channel. I'm only 5'3". Doesn't bother me anymore, but if I want to make myself look like I'm 6 foot tall on YouTube, that is my prerogative. Either way, this box is ridiculous. I can't think of another instrument that sounds so cool with so little effort. I'm using this Lapdog, and because of the GBD tuning, I have open chords all the way up the neck. Now, they're all major triads. Whenever I pick up an instrument like this that's made for a style like bluegrass or blues, you start to understand why the tunings are the way they are. Most bluegrass music major keys. So say in the key of C, G, A, B, C. So here's my C, my 4 chord, my 5 chord. More advanced techniques, I can rotate the bar. But for now, a minor chord. Here's my A major. Got my 3rd there. I want to play that, but really all I can do is play the 1st and the 5th. The A and the E. I don't have the answer to this question on whether or not you should stay or go to the big city. My friend talked about how the talent can make you better. I also found that, at least in Nashville, and I know this is the case in most cities, there's not enough work to go around. And I personally find myself to be quite competitive. And there are insecurities that I've had that I've kind of buried away because I'm not all that insecure about what I do now. So I just sit in here and I make music and people use it. And there's only a handful of people that gatekeep that. But when I'm around super talented people, I find myself, wow, I'm not as good a singer as that guy. I'm not as good a guitar player as that guy. And I had flashbacks to my 20s. I would let that overwhelm me. And I'm still built that way. I still think about what I can't do compared to other people. I found that this world was good for me in that it forced me to, doesn't matter who's better at what, I've got to do it. I've got to figure it out. Now I would probably have more money because instead of buying a $600 dobro or square neck resonator, I'd call up one of the 10,000 dobro or square neck resonator players in a 30-mile radius to come do something amazing on my track. I'm slowly learning my basic shapes around the major scale. Diatonic notes around C here. To get to C to F, I could go. I think I just played Lean on Me. One thing I did notice is that the machine, and the machine is the system, it's the gatekeepers, it's the people who are making all the decisions. It can really mess with the mind of a creative person, with a musician, with a composer, producer. I understand why the machine exists, and I also understand that the machine is changing now that we have things like YouTube. But you can find yourself being the most current thing, the thing that everybody wants to be around. You're getting all the phone calls, and then a few things happen, and suddenly you are not getting those calls. There seems to be a common thread of people that go to big cities. They make their rise, something happens, it's cool, it's big, and then it changes. The record label you signed to dropped you. The sound that you were good at making is no longer cool anymore. You either get out of the business, you find something else to do entirely because you realize it's not for you. Maybe you realize you didn't love music all that much to begin with. But there are other people, and the people that I find myself drawn to and the people that I connect with the most are the ones that something happens that doesn't go their way, and they stick around and they figure out how to make it work. One of the most common pieces of advice I've heard is don't move to Nashville, LA, whatever, unless you have a reason to go. And I think that's probably valid. It may not be the wisest move to just show up looking for work. I do wonder, however, if the people giving this advice who live in these big towns don't really want us or you to come. Maybe that's why they say that. Nah. I think that most of the time the question is not about should I move to the big city. It's will I get more opportunities in that city? That's what we want, opportunities to do the thing that we love. If you're young and you're not tied down, go to the big city. Have a blast. Do everything that you can to enjoy that time. But for some of you, like myself, that's not possible, or it's certainly not practical. When I started in the music business, it was about the dream of the hit record, the dream of writing the great song, the dream of playing in front of thousands and thousands of people. But now there are so many more ways to make a living in music. And I know that there are so many reasons why it's more difficult and more challenging, but there are so many opportunities that did not exist 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I never walk and talk. I'll do that for once. If you want to work for a record label or in publishing or management or big touring companies, yes, you probably need to go to much bigger cities. I'm talking primarily about the at-home music maker, my studio here, part A, part B, Especially now that most of us work at home, which is a whole nother video and a whole nother topic that I've addressed multiple times. I did not choose this situation that we're all in, but it is our reality. If the type of music that I make does not resonate with you, then you need to go watch somebody else's video before you make any big life decisions. So it doesn't matter as much where you live, but what I think does matter is what have you done? What have you put out there in the world? I have a body of work that I have put out there. A couple hundred YouTube videos, personal albums that I've released, a production music label that I've created. You don't have to look very far to find out that I'm serious. Whether or not you like what I've created or not, I have a body of work that speaks for itself. And with all of those endeavors, you can see that I had an idea and then I executed it and I repeated that thing over and over and over again. My question for you, if you think you're not getting enough opportunities, have you put the work in? Have you started something big and then had to figure out all the ways to accomplish that thing and dealt with all the roadblocks and all the challenges? Because nothing in reality is the way that you think it is going to be when you start. And with music and with YouTube videos, that part at the end where you've got to figure out how to package it, make it look good, make it sound good. Well, if you don't ever get to that point, then you never learn how to work through those challenges. The algorithm is a 4-letter word, right? I guess algo is. But as evil as these platforms are, like YouTube and Instagram and whatever, TikTok, their goal is to keep people on their platform. And so they're going to serve up the kind of thing that they think someone else is going to like. So if you do the work, the chances of your work getting in front of the people that can make a difference for you or can enjoy your work, I still believe that the best work rises to the top. For me right now, Nashville is a great place to visit, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get back there 2 to 3 times a year because it's a great escape from the suburbs of Dallas. Listening to myself talk, this feels very preachy, this video. I'll try not to do that in the future, but there were times when I needed to hear this message, and sometimes I still need to hear it. I can't recall anything that I've done that was a serious endeavor that I regret, even if it only got a couple hundred plays on Spotify or a couple hundred views on YouTube. Talk soon.